It's impressive the number of men who have been training for years but can't properly develop the muscle they desire most, the chest. The worst part is that they train religiously and know the basic exercises, but lack crucial anatomical knowledge about chest fibers. And the result? A chest with little hypertrophy and extreme difficulty developing that wide form that gives presence and imposing appearance to the physique. That's why today, to correct this common problem, you'll see 4 strategic exercises that anyone can do, even beginners, to activate the right fibers and finally achieve a wider, more symmetrical chest with that impressive depth even without a shirt. And no, we're not talking about complicated techniques. These are basic but well-chosen exercises using anatomical knowledge as an ally. You just need to copy them and let time work. Before the exercises, you need to understand the basics of chest anatomy. Most men know that the pectoralis major muscle, which gives that aesthetic shape, is divided into 3 main portions. The upper portion, also called the clavicular portion, the middle portion, and the lower portion. Most men have great difficulty developing the upper portion of the chest, the one that gives that full look near the clavicles and creates a smooth transition between the neck and thorax. That's why 2 of the exercises we'll see today specifically focus on this region. Now, the most important part, the chest is composed of different types of muscle fibers. Fast twitch fibers, type 2, which are responsible for strength and power, and slow twitch fibers, type 1, which provide endurance. For a truly impressive chest, we need to stimulate both types of fibers. Now, the most important thing, the pectoralis major has a fan-shaped fiber orientation, radiating from the shoulder joint to the sternum and humerus. This unique structure is what allows us to perform horizontal adduction movements of the arms, but it's also why we need exercises at different angles to stimulate all fibers efficiently. When we understand and respect this anatomy, results appear much more quickly. Now we can start with the first exercise, which is fundamental to achieving that width in the upper chest, the Incline Dumbbell Fly. The Incline Dumbbell Fly is one of the most efficient exercises for developing the upper chest, precisely the area that most men have difficulty developing. When you perform this movement on an inclined bench, you intensely activate the fibers of the clavicular portion of the chest, those that give that shelf appearance, a muscular shelf that projects the chest upward and outward. What makes this exercise so effective is the extreme stretch it provides. By opening your arms laterally with the dumbbells, you create significant tension in the chest fibers, especially at the origin and insertion of the muscle. It's this stretch under load that stimulates lateral growth, giving that impressive width when you're facing the mirror. Think of it like an elastic band. When you stretch an elastic to its maximum and then release it, it responds with a powerful contraction. The same happens with the pectoral muscle during the incline fly. The deep stretch followed by controlled contraction creates the perfect stimulus for growth and development of chest width. To properly execute the Incline Dumbbell Fly, start by adjusting a bench between 30 and 45 degrees of incline. This, according to studies that considered hypertrophy, is the ideal angle to focus on the upper part. Lie on the bench with a dumbbell in each hand, arms extended above your chest with palms facing each other. This is your starting position. Now, maintaining a slight bend in your elbows, which is crucial, slowly open your arms in an arc movement, as if you were hugging a large tree. Lower until you feel a comfortable but intense stretch in your chest. At the lowest point, you should feel a powerful stretch across your entire upper chest. To rise, consciously contract your chest, as if you were squeezing something between your arms, and bring the dumbbells back to the starting position in a controlled movement. The key here is to maintain constant tension in the chest. Don't relax at the top of the movement. You'll know you're doing it right when you feel an intense contraction in the upper part of your chest, near the clavicles. If you feel your shoulders or triceps working more, something is wrong with your execution. One of the most common errors I see is the use of very heavy weights, which transforms the exercise into a hybrid movement between fly and press. Remember, the fly is not for lifting maximum weight. It's for creating maximum tension in the chest. Use a weight that allows you to maintain perfect form for 10 to 12 repetitions. Another frequent error is fully extending the elbows, which transfers tension to the joints and can cause injuries. Always maintain that slight bend in the elbows from start to finish of the movement. For ideal results, I recommend 3 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions, with a rest time of 60 to 90 seconds between sets. Our second exercise is the high pulley crossover, which perfectly complements the work started with the Incline Dumbbell Fly. The high pulley crossover has the advantage of maintaining constant tension throughout the entire movement, unlike free weight exercises where resistance varies according to position. This means that every fiber of your upper and middle chest will be under stimulus from the beginning to the end of the repetition, maximizing definition and width gains. When you observe a truly impressive physique, you notice that distinct separation between muscles, especially between the chest and the anterior deltoid. This separation is not just a matter of low body fat percentage, but also of proper development of each muscle group. The high pulley crossover specializes in creating this definition that gives the chest that sculpted look. To execute correctly, start by positioning yourself between two pulleys adjusted above shoulder height. Hold a handle in each hand and take a step forward, maintaining a slight forward lean of the trunk, about 15 degrees. This inclination is fundamental to ensure that the chest, not the deltoids, is the protagonist of the movement. Start with your arms open in a position similar to a T, with a slight bend in the elbows that should be maintained throughout the exercise. This is a position of maximum stretch for the chest fibers. Now, in a fluid movement, bring your hands down and forward as if you were hugging a large ball. The crucial point is that, at the end of the movement, your hands should cross slightly, the right hand passing over the left in one repetition and alternating in the next repetition. This crossing is what gives the exercise its name and is essential for achieving a maximum contraction of the chest. You'll know you're doing it right when you feel an intense contraction in the inner part of your chest at the moment your hands cross, and a feeling of stretch in the sides of your chest when your arms are open. If you feel more work in your shoulders than in your chest, you're probably using excessive weight or not maintaining the slight trunk inclination. A technical detail that makes all the difference. During the movement, keep your elbows slightly higher than your wrists. This small nuance makes the chest work in a greater amplitude, maximizing the stimulus on the lateral fibers that give that impressive width. The most common errors I observe in this exercise include using body momentum to move the weight, which drastically reduces effectiveness, and not completing the movement until the hands cross, missing the maximum contraction. Another frequent error is keeping the elbows fully extended, which can cause stress on the joints and reduce the focus on the chest. Something many don't realize is the importance of foot position during the exercise. Your feet should be in a stable position, one slightly in front of the other, as in a fencing position. This solid base allows you to focus completely on the chest contraction without worrying about balance. To obtain the best results, I recommend 4 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions, using a weight that allows you to maintain perfect technique. The ideal rest time is 90 to 120 seconds between sets. This exercise works better with higher repetitions to stimulate not only the type 2 strength fibers, but also the type 1 endurance fibers, which are crucial for that dense, detailed look. A valuable tip: focus on the eccentric phase of the movement, controlling the speed as your arms open. This phase of stretch under tension is where much of the growth stimulus occurs, especially for chest width. Our third exercise is a classic that may never go out of style: the flat dumbbell bench press. While the first 2 exercises focused more on amplitude and the upper part, the dumbbell bench press will magnificently work the thickness and general depth of the chest, with emphasis on the middle region. What makes the flat dumbbell bench press superior to the barbell bench press for our goal of width and definition is the freedom of movement. With dumbbells, you can naturally adjust the trajectory of the movement to be more suitable for your body structure, in addition to being able to lower the dumbbells more deeply, achieving a stretch superior to that of the barbell. Additionally, each side works independently, which eliminates imbalances and asymmetries, a common problem that compromises chest aesthetics. There's no point in having a large chest if one side is more developed than the other, right? And believe me, this is more common than it seems. There is another fascinating biomechanical aspect here. When we use dumbbells, the movement follows the natural pattern of humeral adduction, which is the main function of the pectoralis major. This more natural movement pattern not only maximizes muscle activation, but also significantly reduces stress on the joints, allowing more intense workouts with less risk of injury. To execute the flat dumbbell bench press correctly, lie on a flat bench with a dumbbell in each hand, positioned next to your chest, with elbows flexed and pointing outward. Your palms should be facing forward. This initial position already places the chest in pre-activation, different from the barbell bench press. When pushing the dumbbells up, don't push them in a straight vertical line. Instead, allow them to follow a natural arc, starting wider at chest level and coming closer, without touching, at the top of the movement. This arc respects the natural biomechanics of the chest, which primarily functions to adduct the arms. At the top of the movement, focus on squeezing your chest for a second, as if you were trying to bring the pectoral muscles together in the center. This isometric contraction at the point of greatest mechanical advantage is powerful for stimulating the deepest fibers of the chest. When lowering, control the movement and allow the dumbbells to descend in an arc until they are next to your chest, in a position slightly lower than the barbell bench press. A crucial aspect that few pay attention to, the position of your trunk on the bench. Keep your shoulder blades retracted and depressed, creating a stable base and a slight natural arch in the lumbar region. This position not only protects your spine, but also optimizes the working angle of the chest. You'll know you're doing it right when you feel your chest completely controlling the movement, with a feeling of stretch in the lateral and lower part of your chest at the lowest point, and a firm and complete contraction in the center of your chest at the highest point. If your shoulders are elevated, or you feel your triceps more than your chest, adjust your technique. A common error is letting the elbows open too much to the sides, which puts unnecessary stress on the shoulders. Keep your elbows at approximately 45 to 70 degrees in relation to your torso. This angle protects the shoulders and maximizes chest activation. For this exercise, I recommend 4 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions, with a rest time of 90 to 120 seconds between sets. The weight should be challenging, but always allowing you to maintain perfect technique. This is an exercise where you can consistently progress in load, which is fundamental for the development of muscle density. Another golden tip for hypertrophy in this exercise: after reaching concentric failure, when you can no longer complete the full movement, perform 3 to 5 more repetitions only in the upper half of the movement. This technique, known as partials, creates an additional stimulus in the already fatigued fibers, leading to surprising gains in muscle density. Our fourth and final exercise is the decline push-up, which will intensely work the upper part of the chest, completing the 3-dimensional development we're seeking. This exercise has the advantage of being able to be done anywhere, without sophisticated equipment. In the decline push-up, your feet are elevated in relation to your hands, which shifts the center of gravity and significantly increases the load on the upper portion of the chest. To execute correctly, start by positioning your feet on a bench, box, or stable platform that is approximately 30 to 60 centimeters, 12 to 24 inches, in height. The higher the platform, the more intense the activation of the upper chest will be. But start with a moderate height if you're a beginner. Position your hands on the floor at a distance slightly wider than shoulder width, a technical detail that makes all the difference. Hand rotation. Try to rotate your hands slightly outward, with fingers pointing slightly to the sides and not completely forward. This external rotation increases the activation of the upper portion of the chest and creates a more direct line of tension with the clavicular fibers. Now, keeping your body straight as a board, from heels to head, lower yourself in a controlled manner until your chest almost touches the floor. At this point, you should feel an intense stretch in the upper fibers of your chest. To rise, push the floor, while consciously contracting the upper chest, as if you were pushing not just upward, but also slightly forward. You'll know you're doing it right when you feel an intense burn in the upper part of your chest, near the clavicles. Your shoulder blades should separate slightly at the lowest point and come together at the top. If you feel more work in your triceps or shoulders, your hands are probably too far apart or too close to your body. A common error is letting your hips drop or rise, losing body alignment. This reduces upper chest activation and can overload the lower back. Always keep your body straight, engaging your core throughout the movement. Another frequent error is not lowering enough, going only halfway through the potential full stretch. Remember, full range of motion is fundamental for complete muscle development. A third error I constantly see is head position. Keep your neck neutral, as a natural continuation of the spine, looking at a point on the floor slightly ahead of your hands. For those who find the exercise initially too difficult, a useful progression is to start with knees on the floor and feet crossed in the air. As you gain strength, evolve to the complete version. For optimal results, I recommend 4 sets to muscle failure. Yes, in this specific exercise, Going to failure is extremely effective for stimulating the more resistant muscle fibers of the upper chest. If you're already advanced, you can add extra resistance with weight on your back. Another advanced variation is to perform repetitions with a pause at the lowest point, maintaining the position for 2 to 3 seconds before rising. With these 4 exercises and working the chest twice a week, always allowing 48 to 72 hours of recovery between workouts, there's no mistake. It will only be a matter of time until you have a wide and toned chest. Here's another bonus tip. To enhance the results of these 4 strategic exercises, consider including creatine in your supplementation. Creatine monohydrate is one of the most researched and scientifically proven supplements for increasing strength and muscle hypertrophy. It works by increasing phosphocreatine levels in the muscles, which elevates your ability to produce ATP, the energy molecule that fuels your muscle contractions during intense workouts. In practice, this means you'll be able to perform more repetitions with heavier loads, resulting in a much greater stimulus for muscle growth. Additionally, creatine helps increase cell volumization, providing that muscle pump we so desire. Your muscles become fuller and denser, which directly contributes to the appearance of width we're seeking in the chest. However, if you decide to start taking creatine, you need to be aware. There are 10 serious errors that most people make when taking the supplement, transforming something beneficial into potentially harmful for the body. I've left a video appearing right now on the screen showing and explaining each of these errors in detail. Don't miss it. Thank you for watching this far, and may God bless you, my friend.